Knowledge workers are workers whose main capital is knowledge. Examples include software engineers, physicians, physicists, architects, engineers, scientists, public accountants, lawyers, and academics, whose job is to think for a living. Knowledge work can be differentiated from other forms of work by its emphasis on non-routine problem-solving that requires a combination of convergent, divergent, and creative thinking. But despite the amount of research and literature on knowledge work, there is no succinct definition of the term. Mosco and McKerker, 2007, outline various viewpoints on the matter. They first point to the most narrow and defined definition of knowledge work, such as Florida's view of it as specifically, the direct manipulation of symbols to create an original knowledge product, or to add obvious value to an existing one, which limits the definition of knowledge work to mainly creative work. They then contrast this view of knowledge work with a notably broader view which includes the handling and distribution of information, arguing that workers who play a role in the handling and distribution of information add real value to the field, despite not necessarily contributing a creative element. Thirdly, one might consider a definition of knowledge work which includes all workers involved in the chain of producing and distributing knowledge products, which allows for a very broad and inclusive categorization of knowledge workers. It should thus be acknowledged that the term knowledge worker can be quite broad in its meaning, and is not always definitive in who it refers to. Knowledge workers spend 38% of their time searching for information. They are also often displaced from their bosses, working in various departments and time zones, or from remote sites such as home offices and airport lounges. Knowledge workers are employees who have a deep background in education and experience, and are considered people who think for a living. They include software developers, doctors, engineers, lawyers, inventors, teachers, financial analysts and architects. As businesses increase their dependence on information technology, the number of fields in which knowledge workers must operate has expanded dramatically. Even though they sometimes are called gold collars, because of their high salaries, as well as because of their relative independence in controlling the process of their own work, current research shows that they are also more prone to burnout, and very close normative control from organizations they work for, unlike regular workers. Managing knowledge workers can be a difficult task. Most knowledge workers prefer some level of autonomy, and do not like being overseen or managed. Those who manage knowledge workers are often knowledge workers themselves, or have been in the past. Projects must be carefully considered before assigning to a knowledge worker, as their interest and goals will affect the quality of the completed project. Knowledge workers must be treated as individuals,